Hey guys, welcome back. This is Earl with Real Relief Consulting, and this is a recap video. I'm going to give you guys a quick tour of property we acquired 6 months ago. We're now co-hosting it with Jimmy V and Billy DeMore, and I just want to take you through some of the things that we've learned over the course of those short months. Because I think it might be helpful. I guess we'll start here. Guys, this place, we've had a ongoing issue with mice. And it's not necessarily because our guests are super messy, but this place is an older building. And because it's older, it has several foundational issues. In the past, we've had, our property manager come and seal the holes. So as a result of, these challenges, he puts sealer in it. We have a very strict policy with respect to our guests eating in the rooms. So my real heavy, strong recommendation, pro tip, is create some signs, create messages so that your guests don't eat in their room. Okay. Also, this pro tip, in the beginning we didn't do this, but now we use one code that's good for the front door and also for the room. So the code that they'll get on this front door, because it can program up to 30 codes, is also good for room 1. Okay. That helps you mitigate confusion. Also, pro tip, we now are very, very specific with our batteries. We only go with Energizer or the Duracell. No off-brand batteries. This was something that my wife came up with. Now, this space, it's a nice room and all, first floor room. But what we learned is it gets really super cold. And my wife's so creative, so smart. She is a pretty artsy person, and she came up with this idea that we could do a little self-insulation by putting up this fabric. Pro tip, man, if you have a drafty room, this helps. Long drapes kind of helps. And I'm currently in negotiation with this particular landlord to get this place some vinyl windows, because that's obviously going to help. Okay, so that's room 1. All right, pro tip number 2. Sometimes you can charge a little bit more for a private bath, even if it's not connected in the room. So what we did is we created a private bath by just throwing a lock on here. The code here is the same as the code of the bedroom. And as you've learned from Coach, you can charge a little bit more for the space. And this is a full bath. And these work super well. And night lights in every space not only makes it seem brighter and therefore safer, but also it can reduce some of your lighting expenses. So we do put one in every space. Another pro tip, art in every room is a mandatory thing. It makes the space just seem more lively, more homey, and that's the goal. That's what you're going for here. We talked about our smart TVs before. We do the Roku TVs. Rosa and Tiana, put us on, and we've been going with that ever since. And designated work area. You've seen my videos before. It's mandated. I don't particularly like to put private room or desk in private rooms. I've done it in the past, but that's only based on extenuating circumstances. Like we have a guest that from Harris Communication. He's going to be with us for 9 months. And you know what? For that booking, it made sense. Okay, we go. Another pro tip. If you have a smaller kitchen like this, sometimes you can save a little space by, putting something like that. We had another table here before. I think I like this better. And, another pro tip, if you don't already have a fire extinguisher in every kitchen, make sure you do. Everybody kind of does it a little different. We keep a vacuum in every one of our 12 spaces because we want our guests to kind of take ownership, and we provide a iron board, and things that they can tidy up after themselves. All right, follow me upstairs. Okay. Also, pro tip. If you don't tell guests to take garbage out, they won't do it. If you don't tell guests to label their food, they won't do it. If you don't tell guests that this is a shared area, that they have to clean up everything after they're done with it, guests are not going to do it automatically. All right? One thing we haven't got to, we've talked about it, but we've thought about throwing in a camera in the private space. Most of our places are 4 bedrooms and up. And we have noticed that as you get beyond a 3-bedroom, people are less and less accountable of how clean they are, because they don't feel there's any way for folks to know. So we are thinking about doing that. Room 2. Okay. Another pro tip that we've noticed. If you're gonna go with these soaps, we like Ivory. We experimented with the little small soaps that you would get in the hotel because they seem more convenient. Guests don't use them; they don't like them, and I get it. If you're showering, as soon as you get to a small piece of soap, you don't even want to use it. So my advice is, if you're gonna do soap like we do, go with the Ivory. Go with the Ivory. We're changing the seasons now. This space is one of our more economical spaces. So no central AC, no washer and dryer, no the neighborhood is not bad, but it's I wouldn't live in the neighborhood because I'm in a different place in my life. So I say that we put fans in here because it got really hot this summer. But my pro tip is that when you are doing that, especially if you're scaling up, we've labeled each fan with the room number and the property number. So this will probably be going away in a day or two when I come back. All right, let's go to room 3. Nice art. I'm not bringing it up, but my wife does an amazing job with the art. Room 3. Before we get there, more rules. Here's our second full bath. So I do need to call about this. My property manager needs to fix that pull cord. Here it is. Here's the pull cord. So, yeah. And, oh, goodness. Pro tip, guys. Make sure you guys invest in these things right here, especially Caucasian hair. Guys, it will cause you to have a issue with plumbing before anything else. You see all of that? That's pretty disgusting. My cleaner should have got that. But my point is, you need to buy those things and put them in every drain. It's going to save you immensely. Once we actually pulled a marble out of a drain, when we had a rush of college students coming back to the area before the campus housing was ready. Pro tip for room 3. Okay, here's the bathroom soap I was telling you my guests hate. As soon as we get rid of that stuff, we'll never reorder. What cool things can I share with you about this space right here? Yeah, we once had a guest in here, a traveling nurse. We thought she was pretty funny because she was a late checkout because she decided to go back home. She traveled, took her flight back home, and she was a host herself on on Airbnb, and we had to call her up, let her know, hey, if we got another guest coming in, if you can't get in here in a timely fashion, we're gonna have to take all your stuff out. And it was a bunch of it was super messy. And I think the learning part of that is we knew she was high maintenance when she came in, but because she was a nurse, I think we tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. So my learning tip is listen to yourself. If you got red flags going up because a guest is just not talking right or acting right, shut it down quick. Okay, another real good picture. Again, we use these blackout shades. A lot of our guests are traveling nurses, so they sleep during the day and they work at night. So the blackout shades are also good, especially if you have a space that's not well insulated. That cuts down on the draft. However, if this landlord does not get the vinyl windows like we talked about, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but we had this completely covered in plastic because the draft was so bad, and we always keep an extra blanket in here. Okay, room 5. All right. My personal preferences, guys, is never to acquire a property with only 3 rooms, 4 and above. Now, this is our smaller room. Like, when we were really young in the game, we was basically trying to price each room a little differently because of the size. Look, we got away from that. Look, this space right here, this is $1,000 a month from a monthly budget, $33 a night. Every room is the same except for the room that has a private bath. But then I have other places, more amenities, higher price point, $43 a night. Got another place, more amenities, higher price point, $53 a night, and so forth and so on. So that's just a thought. Everybody does their space a little different, but we've gotten away from charging a different rate for each room just based on how big the room is, because it's just easier to negotiate. And that's the other part I will say, guys. If you're not negotiating to keep your places full, you need to do so. One of the biggest things I do with our folks who are on assignment or traveling, I know what the monthly and the nightly rate is. I'll ask them, what's your monthly budget? And if their monthly budget, I don't know, $1,600, and everything to be here, would say, is $2,600, split the difference. Split the difference. Get the booking. Volume trumps everything. All right, so guys, I hope you enjoyed, my little tutorial of what we've learned over the last 6 months, working with Jimmy V, Billy, myself and Yvonne. We just continue to learn and grow. And as we do that, we want to pass that on to you good folks. Take care. And, if you have not made the decision on jumping into this Airbnb space, what are you waiting for? Ton of upside, great way of growing some passive money. All right, check out the link below. God bless.